Alright, so here we have the Night Lord Raptor. I've already got him primed and got him based and everything. I went for more of a dynamic pose than a lot of the Assault Marines. I like the idea that these guys are jumping along, kind of ignoring terrain, so built a little wall. This is, the bricks are actually kind of clip sprue, which you can kind of tell. He's got a little bit of rubble on his base as well. So, customization, he's got this samurai style shoulder pad, lightning claws. I like this guy because he's doing the point, getting ready to come in and really mess up somebody's day. But yeah, I'm gonna start painting this guy. Like I said, he's already primed, so first thing I'm gonna do is come in with gray and hit up all of his trim, all of his details that I want to paint other colors, and then we'll come back once I have that done. Alright, so I got this guy painted gray, all his details anyway, and now I'm gonna go in with the Nasdrag yellow and paint all the trim stuff. Now for painting a lot of these guys, it almost becomes pretty repetitive, and I want to keep you all entertained even as I try to keep myself entertained. So some of the things I am trying to do is show just the different sort of more unique and interesting models that I'm painting for this army. In the background I've been painting a lot of tacticals, a lot more terror squads, a lot more rapier batteries, but here while I paint again the Raptors, I show how I paint the one model, but I've got another 10 Raptors or 9 Raptors for 2 squads of 5 that I'm working on in the background. It means I have a very full painting desk, but the nice thing for me anyway is I'm almost done with painting this army, which is pretty good. It's about 3,500 points of Night Lords that I've got, and I'm really making some good inroads getting it done for a project that I started, I don't know, 3 months ago, 2 months ago. To have it come so far along is pretty good. So I went pretty heavy with the gold on the jump pack. Not really sure I like how it looks. There's a couple spots I missed, I guess, but at the same time I kind of do, so we'll see how it looks once I got everything painted. I'm gonna hit it up with some ball red now on his shoulder pads and his eyes. I will leave until later because I haven't done his helmet yet or his bony mask yet. And I said this before, but I really like how the red and the blue contrast to kind of elevate this guy from what he looks like without it. And with, I don't know what it is about red and blue on Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines or Traitor Legions or whatever, but looks really crisp. I think that's part of why the offshoot chapter, the Pedro Cantor's Legion, or chapter rather, of the what are they, the Red Fists or what, Crimson Fists. It's part of why I think they look so striking. It's the red and blue. But the bat wings against the blue armor looks pretty good as well, I think. It always seems like when I'm filming these, after I finish painting something and moved on to the next paint, I always notice spots I missed. I have to come back to it. But that's okay. Painting is a process. And if you ever want to feel humble about your paint jobs, go ahead and take a picture and zoom in and see all the spots you missed, or any details you missed. Alright, we'll move on to the next color. So I used Majos Purple on the claw for my Centurion, and I didn't like it, and I came back and I did Lexian Purple over the top of the Majos Purple. So what I'm trying here for this claw is doing the opposite, just skipping the Majos Purple and going right into the Lexian Purple. And then what I'll do for the tip of the claw, or the blades of the claw, is hit it up with the edge purple to make the blades of the claw look sharper. My hope is it'll kind of save me time in the end, and it'll look better. Power claws are weird, both in concept, right, and in actual painting of. Never really been super happy with how I've painted a lightning claw. As a weapon, theoretically, they're terrible objectively, because you don't want more blades to attack something, you want a longer blade in a fight, and having to come within arm's reach versus having a long stick or sword or anything else is objectively worse. But rule of cool, right? Giant demonic energy claws seem like a neat idea in a game like 40K. And they look cool. That's the important thing, right? Not really sure if this purple is gonna do it on its own. I might have to do a second coat, but we'll see how it dries. Purple is such a difficult color to do right for me. I'm never quite satisfied with the shade or how it looks or first go at it. Pink is another one of those colors where it just never quite looks right. Might be the paints I'm using sometimes, but I typically stick with GW paints because a few years back my wife and I bought the whole set, one of those big giant boxes of them. And then once you start painting models, you want to match the paints as closely as you can, so I've kind of been locked in for all my armies. But I do like their contrast paints. Normally I like their contrast purple, or at least this one in particular, the Luxon purple. Normally it comes out pretty good for me, but haven't tried it on power claws or like power weapons or anything like that. Lightning claws, I guess. let that dry, paint some other details while it's drying. Alright, so now I'm using Edge T'Challa Lilac to try and get the edges of the blade on these claws. Kind of give it that sharper look. I think it looks pretty good. And I have seen some people do lightning claws where they have like the lightning effect going down on the claw. And that's really cool, but at the same time I don't know that I can manage that level of detail. Probably not going to do that on the rank and file Raptors. Alright. And one of these final steps, as far as the painting bigger details, is getting the skeleton horde contrast paint on his Oni mask and on the skulls he's got. And then once that dries, I can go back through and I can add his eyes and a couple other details, and we'll see how he looks. Alright. As always, the most fun part. By fun, I mean often exasperating and annoying. Trying to get those eyes painted. There we go. Alright, with his paint job pretty much where I want it, what I'm going to do now is go ahead and come in and do the lightning. Now, as I've done on my other models, I like to sort of stipple this on because it looks a little bit more like electricity. But I've seen some people do some really good stuff doing it other ways, so I like how that one looks. May not connect it. I like to, on most of these guys, have the lightning lead in on the front foot, if that makes sense. I feel like it makes them look a bit more dynamic. Which adds a bit more visual interest to it, I think. And for all the Night Lords, the lightning is what makes them really stand out. Kind of like camouflage for the Imperial Guard, if you do that. Which I like to do. And the bright colors compared to the dark Prussian blue, I think, really stands out. I'm using one of the brightest whites that I've got, this titanium white, so it stands out even starker. And just like real lightning kind of forks towards the bottom, it spreads out a bit. I'm trying to do that without making it too oppressive, I guess. Too much. I like that though. It looks like it's coming right out of his neck there and looping down. Now he has a very leaning forward pose, so I'm going to add some coming down his back. The intention of this is what's going to come down his back leg. And it really just, there's not any kind of like special way I'm doing this. I'm just trial and error, trying to make it look interesting. You can always come back in. I can use Celestian Blue if I really don't like how it looked. But I haven't had to do that yet on any of these guys, so. Of course, I haven't, to this point, had the bottom of the foot showing on any of these guys quite so much. Kind of tempted to have it go down over the bottom of his foot as well. We'll see how it looks. A bit more. Lightning is looking for a ground, so really it probably wouldn't come over the back leg. Probably should have come down that way because that's the one touching, but I think that adds a nice bit of visual interest to the back. And then on the front, it's coming down on the front. I really like the pose of this model and how he's up high, so he's coming at you, pointing, selecting his next target, which is what the Raptors are supposed to do, is terrify their opponents as they come in. So, I like it. Let's get the rest painted.